I missed like 2 weeks. I think the last time I went walking the trail, that's terrible. But I haven't been feeling as great. Not sick, but my sleep has been broken so much that I'm exhausted during the day. And so I'm busy trying to get naps and get my rest back. And then after that, I got to do other work like schoolwork and other things and stuff related to the business and editing, all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, oh God, I got to get out here today. So I feel like just laying around and sitting around make me feel fatter. That's no offense to them. I'm just saying, when you're not doing anything, you're not moving, you feel heavier. You're sitting, eating, just walking around the house a little bit. I mean, went out to the store, those kind of things, but it's nothing like really walking. So that's what I'm doing now. So I said, well, let me just go live. I was busy reminiscing. There's a few things I probably watched and listened to this week, and it had me really thinking about my childhood and the fun times I had, friendships I had. And then with recent loss of Malcolm Jamal Warner, that rocked my boat and shocked. I'm still very sad in my heart. I grew up watching him. I follow him throughout his life. I follow his podcast every week. Not So Hood, right? And I'm like, because he's so down to earth and so humble, you know? And he said a lot of that happened or is due to when they used to record the Cosby Show in Brooklyn, New York. It kept him, and this is also the same episode he had Keisha Knight Pulliam on. They talked about how it kept them grounded because a lot of times in between taping and everything, they had nothing much to do but go out in the neighborhood in Brooklyn. So they would just talk to everyday people who are not actors or whatever. And it gave them a sense of normalcy, groundedness, all of that. So they never walked around with air thinking they're somebody extra special. So between their parents and that experience, it kept them connected with people. And that's what people love him so much, because he always had that, and it's watching the podcast, it was so great. And it's like, now what I'm going to do? Because I used to love watching it. He was about consciousness, especially when it came to African American, black people, Africans, whatever. Because he would have people of Africans on his podcast and African descent, a lot of us, or most of us, and talk about a lot of things that matter to us in our community. So Malcolm was just that type. He felt like your brother. If you're older, your young brother. If you're younger, your older brother. We can relate. One thing about the Cosby Show, it's so fun. You always had a few people who felt like that wasn't real, but those are people who grew up in neighborhoods where they didn't have that experience of a middle class parents, basically. And a lot of people grew up with middle class parents who are professionals, and it is a reality. And because they didn't show any drag down, knock down type of traumatic experiences, every family does not have those type of traumatic experiences in the immediate family. But they did show issues with the kids, all kinds of conflicts that would come up. Vanessa marrying some older man. It was like a whole bunch of different things. Denise like dropping out of college and meeting somebody and marrying him on a whim. Oh my God. So they had family issues. But sometimes if you're not used to that and you're used to highly dysfunctional families, you think that's normal. Knock down, drag down, abuse, throw you against the wall, yell, curse, slam the door. Everybody don't have that. Some people just, thank God, grow up in better situations where they had more role models or representation, which is important. And so they learn things about healthier ways to communicate with each other. They learn more listening skills. They learn how to be emotionally regulated, where they can learn how to calm down their nervous system and their brain and have real conversations about stuff before being more reactive, which is what a lot of, people who grew up in certain neighborhoods did not learn, or in broken families. If you don't see that example of a mother and a father learning how to come together and how to reason together, unless you learn it later on in life, that's your example. And so there's some people that feel like if they don't see enough of that kind of dysfunction going on, it ain't real. I had people used to tell me that all the time. You always seem to be on the upbeat and positive side and smile all the time. And I mentioned one time on here, I had a client I used to counsel. He said, I just feel like you was fake because you used to come. And we got very close after, very cool. One of my, you don't supposed to say this, your favorite clients. But anyway, um, he realized that was my personality. I inherited that not only from the father, but my family. My mother had that positive attitude all the time, and she would rejoice when other people had certain wins. She would rejoice as if it was her win. And that's how I am. If my friends win or people that I know of in some area, some achievement or something, I am genuinely excited. I feel it inside. Tears are coming to my eyes because I'm empathic that way. But some people, they're not used to that. They haven't seen that. They think it's fake. So he used to say, he would talk to himself like, why is she always smiling when she come here? I used to be like, hey, I'm here. Open up the windows. Um, let's get some sunshine in the house. Because that's what I do the first thing in the morning. Vitamin D is very important. It's good for your mental health. Most of us know that by now. It can improve your mood and everything. And so I was helping them in that area, dealing with depression sometime and low moods and anxiety. And so after a while, I would come by the house. This is so funny. He would go, Miss Cheryl, yes, I opened up the windows this morning. When I was like, well, okay, we made some improvement. I said, doesn't it make you feel better? So it's like a lot of times we have to learn to rewire our brains and reprogram the way we've been doing things when we realize the habits and behaviors that keep us stuck in a certain mode or keep us low down, depressed, full of anxiety. We're not really living. We're in survival mode. Our nervous system is in survival mode, fight or flight, instead of in a relaxed mode or, you know, compared to walking hyper vigilant and always edgy and always worrying, have fear. That is a bad way to live every day. And it has an impact on your health, definitely on your mental health. And so I love helping people change the way they think about things, the way they perceive things, and realize that alone changes everything else. Because if you can change your perspective on something and look at it differently, I'm telling you, this is key. And some of you guys been hearing this, but you don't realize how important it is and how beneficial it is and how it'll help your overall mental health. Learning how to change your mindset. I'm so big on that. And it's something that I naturally did even as a child, going through my own traumatic experiences. I can look back and go, how did I make it? But I remember my mindset as a child. And I remember the things I would do to kind of redirect negative thoughts and feelings. One of the things to do to kind of help with that is finding a hobby, something that you're passionate about. You don't realize how important these things are. When you're young, you always see resumes or applications. They want you to list your hobbies. They want to see how well-rounded you are, what you do with your extra time. They want to know about you, your interests. But as you get older, you realize it's important to have these things in your life. It brings a balance. It really helps you out mentally. You're not just stuck at, I'm only going to work. I'm only going to do this. All these serious things. What about having fun and playing? What about getting out here and walking the trails? It does something to your mental health in a positive way. And we all know that exercise does improve your mood. So, and I've been wanting to do that for the 2 weeks. I'm like, I haven't been out walking. This is terrible. I was feeling like I was getting bigger just sitting around. But I haven't been getting good sleep. So I was just trying to get my rest. So today, I took a nap. I felt good getting up. I said, okay, my eyes are resting now. I no longer feel that sleepiness in my eye. I can get up, go. Got myself together, washed my tail. And now I'm walking the happy trails. I am walking. Because I wanted to get out. It feels good. I love walking. So I want to keep moving, stay active. I know it's important. It's important for blood circulation. It's important for your cardiovascular system. It's important for mental health. So the other days when I was in, I was working on some things, but I need to get out. But anyway, it's important to get out, get fresh air. Like I said, when you get older, you realize how important it is I think I'm going to start walking back now. I might have went 1.5 miles or 2 miles, who knows, already. Fresh air, sun, get that vitamin D from the sun. Anyway, I was reminiscing about my childhood and the crazy stuff that, I did or friends of mine did, and how I always had these boundaries. I said, okay, we ain't going that far now. And I remember, I gotta take a break. I think I've been talking and walking, not getting air. Okay, I'm gonna slow down. Um, One day, I just think about how God just saved you sometime from doing crazy stuff. You realize the Lord had been watching over you. I had some, I would, not really friends, but kids you grew up with in the neighborhood. We were all teenagers. I never was a child that had a pattern of stealing or doing anything like that. I really had reverential fear of God and my parents, okay? And I don't want to face those consequences. What happens is, that workout coming on now, I'm starting to feel it. You hear my breathing? They wanted to go to the supermarket one day. So I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. And there was this supermarket we used to shop at called Pathmark. Big chain store like a Kroger, uh, any, big supermarket that you know of. We had that in Brooklyn. And they had this candy aisle. Just nothing but candy. Tables full of loose candy. So you would get bags and you would just weigh the ounces of pounds of candy. Just like when you go into the supermarket in the section where you have the fruits and the vegetables, produce, all that stuff. Now, there was a lot of people taking candy, right? I've seen people shop and eat candy. My mama even did it. Take a piece of candy, put it in her mouth while she's shopping. Lord have mercy. That's probably why they stopped. I don't see too many stores like that anymore. If you know a store like that, let me know. Where you just walk into a whole aisle and it's just loose candy on, large tables. You could just grab how much you want, put them in the bags and weigh them. Child, we went one day to the store. They wanted to go there and steal candy. Again, I was like, this ain't feeling right, and I'm not doing this, and I've never done it before, and I do not want to go to jail for some candy. We were teenagers, but still. I left those people in the store. I left my neighbors in the store because something said leave. I know it was God. Leave the store. I left the store, came home. Let me tell you. I told my mother what happened because we were very close, and I would share just about everything with her. And looking out my window, because my window would face the front of the building, I saw police cars pop, just pop up in front of the building and saw them getting out the car. They got busted. They were caught on the cameras in the store. I knew there were cameras. That was my mindset. I'm like, I know they got cameras in the store for number one. While I'm standing in the candy aisle, they're going to get caught. And that's what happened. Someone saw them on the cameras, pulled them into the office, manager office, and security and police, whatever, came, brought them home. I was so happy that I did not engage in that activity, because I would have been more scared of, what am I telling my parents? Oh, especially my mother. At the time, I think it just, my stepfather was in the picture, I believe. Yeah, he was in the picture. So to face them, that wasn't going to be good at all. I know, but it would have been that whole, better. Didn't I don't, who wants to go through that? So I knew better. And again, I was fearful of trying to go to jail. I was that sensitive child. Leave me alone. Teach me all you want. I am not doing that. Oh, gosh. I remember already getting picked up one day. We had a nickname for these police vans that would pick up kids who was playing hooky, called a paddy wag or something like that. I already had one experience with that when I was cutting class. See, sometimes you just do some crazy stuff. You're hanging out with your friends. You get influenced. I wasn't the type to, not at that time, just cut class all the time. Now, later on, I did. Junior high, high school. But anyway, this was junior high, though. That's when that was the first time, actually. Lord have mercy. Maybe. I can't even recall. But anyway, I remember we got caught. Me and another friend, I don't know if it's my bestie or somebody else, playing hooky. They put us in the van. That's what they do. Take the teenagers, take them in the van, take them home, call your parents. It was just so deep. I don't know when it got crazy, when they just want to criminalize you for everything. But anyway, I guess maybe when the behavior's bad, you start doing a lot of other stuff with it. They just called my parents. My mom brought me home to get on punishment. I was very careful after that point. And whenever I did cut out later on, I started doing it more. We are in each other's house. Which we shouldn't have been, but that's a whole nother conversation. But anyway, we just did stuff more safe because it was a big thing back then. If you get caught a certain time, during school hours and the police see you, they taking you in, right? Taking you home, taking you to the police precinct or something, call your parents, you stay there until they come pick you up. We didn't want to go through all that. But anyway, those were the days. Lord have mercy. Yes, I'm about finished with this walk, and I got to head back to my car. So I just wanted to come on live, maybe probably to have some company while I'm walking. Sometimes I have my daughter with me, and she's doing her own thing today. She's out of town. So I am just getting my walk on because I am overdue. So overdue with this, but I like walking these trails. It's nice. Let me see in front. Okay, I see that little sign there, which means I'm going to see how close I am to my car. People are running this way, jogging actually. I ain't there yet. I'll do the sprint. I'll walk. That's it. Got the guy on the rollerblades. Whew. I don't know how far I walk. I wasn't walking and talking. I was doing another recording to put on me and my daughter's vlog channel. And so I said, well, let me go live on this channel. And just, beside having the same type of content all the time, again, we got to work out our mental health, our emotional health, and all of that. And I want to take you with me. Today is Tuesday, I believe. And see, I know tomorrow I have some work to do, homework to do. Well, I'm probably not going to be able to have a chance to get out. So I said, let me do it today. Oh, man, I tell you, it's getting thick out here in these woods. Thick. But I love nature, so this is all good. Oh, my gosh. I don't know if I'm going to keep this camera the whole time. I think I'm getting close to the exit. At least it looks that way. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. Way down there where it's the brightest. That may be the end. Maybe the end. Oh man, I'm feeling it. Now, I have to be a good girl and eat something healthy. I don't know what that's going to be for dinner. The only thing I had today, I had cereal. I had a multigrain flake cereal with blueberries and bananas. And I did have some link sausages because I haven't had sausages in so long. Like, I got to get some sausages. Skinny links, 2 skinny links. And I had 1 egg. That was my breakfast, and it held me for a good long time. But now it is, I think, 7 something. 95 degrees, probably maybe 94 degrees now down here in Atlanta. Ooh, Lord have mercy. What possessed me to move down here? And I do like the country, but near the city. Because I'm a city girl, because I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York. So I don't want to be too far away from the city. I ain't there. I want to have access. Because there's a lot of things that happen in Atlanta that are really great. A lot of festivals we go to, which they have them all over. But, it's a lot of things that go on closer to the city that we like to do. And I like to do. So I didn't want to be no further out than 30 minutes away. Right now, I'm like 20 from downtown Atlanta, Midtown. Whew. I think that's the bridge. After that bridge, that means I'm getting close to my car. Oh, Lord. I'm tempted to sit down, but I'm just going to slow down. So this is what happens when you let too many days go by without either working out, stretching, or walking. It feels like you're starting the whole thing all over again, your whole workout routine. That's why I had to get my sleep under control and rest. Now, I would admit that there was some nights I was working on some things. Stuff was coming to me. And I was like, I got to do this now. I got to do this now. And I stayed up till like 2, and then it's 3 o'clock. And then the other days I had took naps, so then I was kind of awake for a good while. But yeah, I got to get it back with that. I was going to say the algorithm, the circadian, right? Rhythm. Preparing myself in the evening time to lay down. Now, that's not the easiest thing when you're in school because I'm doing schoolwork. That's the other thing that was keeping me up too. I try to do a little bit, and then at nighttime, there was those nights when I'm kind of crunching or just doing some work then because I had to take a nap. I was tired or whatever the case is. So it's never a perfect chance. And then I'm going through the pause. So that breaks up my sleep most of the time. I just wanted to turn you around and show you the little bridge I'm walking over. The car is coming. Which means I'm getting close to my destination. Yeah, so because of all that disruption and all distractions or whatever, threw my sleep way off. So I got to get back to prepare myself to lay down like maybe 9 o'clock. Not necessarily sleeping unless I'm that sleepy, but laying down or just, having not too many lights on, which I don't really put my lights on until it starts to get dark, and if I really need it, especially when I'm doing work or something. Other than that, ooh, child. Maybe it's these clothes make me. Oh, you know what it is too? I messed up, guys. I messed up. I was supposed to stretch. And I didn't stretch, and I'm feeling it. The muscles feel tighter.